Hello everybody, I'm Sohnjee. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for checking me out. If you are a return person, I appreciate your support. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, as well as the bell, so that you'll be notified when I upload new content. Okay, got the business out of the way. Share, like, thank you. Let's get on with it. So we've been talking about the astrological sun signs and pairing them with everyone else in the astrological chart and seeing how those matchups could work. Now, here's the disclaimer. Of course, it isn't the blueprint for every single matchup. Of course, your pairing could be different. And absolutely, it isn't just about your sun sign. Of course, other things go into a relationship as far as everything in their chart, as well as their emotional background, temperament, life history, all that stuff. Okay, so we know that. This, however, is just a look at what the possibilities could be between these two sun sign pairings, as well as some general problems or issues that may occur between those two sun signs. So what I've done is I've taken a general consensus of what typically happens in a pairing of those sun signs, and I've taken that and now I'm going to relay it to you. So, got it? Good. We're talking about Pisces here. Okay, Pisces, you've waited long enough. Let's talk about it. Now, first of all, based upon some other videos in the past, Pisces tends to believe that I have a thing against them. I don't have a thing against you, Pisces. That is not true. As always, it's a compilation of research that I found, and I simply relay to you what is said. Okay? So, some of my favorite people are Pisceans, so calm down. Let's talk about you, Pisces. Okay, so Pisces is a water sign. Who's a Pisces? Well, Pisces is anyone born on February 19th through and including March 20th. Pisces is also a mutable sign. It starts at the end of winter and prepares us for the beginning of spring. So, if you have a birthday then, happy birthday. You are a Pisces. Now, what do they say about Pisces? Well, Pisces are powerfully emotional people. They are intuitive, they are creative, and they are very caring. Now, Pisces is sensitive, and they're often known to be very good, trusted friends. So, if you have a friend that is a Pisces, typically, there is someone that you can go to and you can confide in, and they'll always be there for you. Pisceans are often very attractive, and their most enduring traits are the fact that they're typically very humble and their love of romance. Yes, so Pisceans are supposed to be very romantic. Now, Pisces are known to pick upon the subtle things about people. They look at the unspoken, the body language, and they read those signals from people with quite a lot of precision and skill. That's why a lot of people typically think that if they have a Piscean, or they know a Piscean, or a Piscean themselves, people think that they are a little psychic because they typically read people so well and they come across as mysterious, because a lot of the other signs miss some of the things that Pisces will clue right in on about a person. And 9 times out of 10, the Pisces is right about them. They are highly sympathetic, compassionate, self-sacrificing, and unassuming. Pisceans are the most likely to absorb the emotions of other people around them. They take cues from their environment, meaning that if a Pisces is in a happy environment, typically your Piscean will become happy and they'll be the life of the party. However, if a Pisces is in a sad environment, then your Pisces is going to absorb that energy and they too will become saddened. So they are really affected by their environment. So you want to be mindful of that if you are in the company of a Piscean. All right. Now, some of the Pisces strengths they are compassionate, artistic, intuitive, gentle, wise, and a lot of them are quite musical. So you'll find your famous musicians, a lot of them are born under the sun sign Pisces or has a lot of Pisces in their chart. Now, some of the weaknesses about Pisceans, they say, is that they're fearful, they can be overly trusting, they get used quite often, they can be sometimes very sad people, they have a desire to escape reality, and they typically play the victim, or on the flip side, they're the martyr. So that's what they say about Pisces. Most Pisceans believe that the best route to finding inner peace is to give to others. And in many respects, this makes them one of the most generous and selfless of all the sun signs. Now, they tend to dislike confrontation and sometimes have difficulty saying no or leaving bad situations sooner rather than later because the Piscean wants to stay and they want to help. Not always in the best interest, Pisces. Pisceans are often called the dreamers of the zodiac, and it is common for them to be attracted to drama. They are also very artistic, creative, and they enjoy fantasy in an attempt to escape from the gritty reality and frequent disappointments of life because Pisceans are known to want life to be peaches and cream. They're known to escape or disappear into their own heads, making them seem secretive and unreachable to their partners or loved ones. So now, some common misconceptions about them is that Pisceans are known to be not ambitious people, that they are considered lazy and low energy people. That's not true. Again, a Pisces enjoys fantasy. They enjoy escaping into their own head, into their own thoughts, because in their thoughts, everything's terrific. They're also known to be liars, cheaters, and as I said, secretive. But typically that's because the misperception about the lying is because a Pisces will just go with the flow. They're known to go with the flow, even if that's not how they feel, because a Piscean wants to keep peace. They're also known to be secretive because they go into their head and again, trying to keep peace. They rather not say what they're thinking. They just go along, which isn't necessarily perceived as truthful. And the cheating part about Pisceans, well, we'll get into that later, but it typically comes from a Piscean telling you what they want, or on the flip side, not telling you what they want and letting things go too far, and then they dip out on you. It's true. So, they're misunderstood. We're going to get into exactly what those misunderstandings are so that we can figure out better how to deal with Pisces and how to stop that nasty rumor. Because as I said, they are considered to be the most selfless, the most generous and giving of the astrological sun signs. So it behooves you to have a Piscean in your life and to love a Pisces. You just need to understand exactly what you're dealing with. So, with that being said, Pisces, let's get into it. Let's teach folks how to deal with the Pisces in your life and come up successfully so that they spend more time talking to you and less time in their head. Stay tuned for how your sun sign pairs up with Pisces right after this. Hello, Pisces with Gemini. Welcome to your matchup. Now, Gemini and Pisces is often a bittersweet matchup with equal parts harmony and frustration. This is often a fairly emotional match and one which has the potential to leave both of you feeling insecure and dissatisfied at different points throughout the relationship. Now, the main problem with this relationship is that Gemini is extremely dynamic and they often change their mind about, heck, almost everything. And they want what they want when they want it. The problem is what they want continues to change. Now, meanwhile, Pisces, they're emotional and sensitive by comparison, and this is likely to bruise the ego of Pisces, who undoubtedly is working to give you, Gemini, what you want the way you want it, except you just changed your mind. So now what? You're both very flexible, however, and that's overall a good thing. But Gemini, cut me a break. This constant back and forth, yes, no, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, flip a coin. Nobody can live like that. Get it together, all right? Now, the downside, however, is that you both can be indecisive, right? So even if Gemini, you concede to Pisces to let Pisces decide, Pisces too is indecisive and they don't want to know and they don't want to make the wrong decision because after all, they go with the flow and they're very get along people. So they just want you to be happy. And again, we're back to you who changes your mind. So what makes you happy this month may not necessarily make you happy next month. And that, in a nutshell, is the problem, Gemini. All right, we're going to move it forward. Now, Geminis prefer to keep life light and fun, while Pisceans overall prefer a more emotionally serious and steady relationship. And, they may come across to Gemini as emotionally needy. Pisces prefer very deep and unconditional love. That is what they thrive on. And one which Gemini may have trouble relating to because typically Geminis don't need that depth of emotional connection in order to be completely into you, Pisces. They don't need to express it ad nauseum in their mind, their words, to know that they're into you. If there is a mental connection for a Gemini and you communicate well, that's pretty much it in a nutshell for them. So all the touchy-feely hearts and flowers isn't necessarily something that they're going to think about. Doesn't mean that they don't like it. Doesn't mean that they won't give it to you, Pisces. It's just not something that they necessarily need. Now, this may cause Gemini to feel smothered by you, Pisces, with your overly showmanship of affection. And it does cause them, in some cases, to pull away from you. Just because it just may be for your Gemini a bit much. And this, as a result of them pulling away, is likely to make you, Pisces, feel insecure and even more emotionally needy. So you see the vicious cycle here. You need more from the Gemini, so you're expressing that by showing them more. And Gemini is like, whoa, calm down, Pisces, I need you to give me less. But of course, you need more. Gemini needs less. So the two of you will have to find a common ground and a medium for that. And I'll tell you how. But let's move on. Now, humor is typically Gemini's way of diffusing situation. However, it is Gemini's humor that might also be a challenge in this matchup, as Gemini has a tendency not to take things too seriously, whereas Pisces can at times be highly sensitive, emotional, and vulnerable about certain subjects. So if there's an issue, for example, Gemini may approach the issue with humor, and that may come across to you, Pisces, as them being insensitive and not taking the matter seriously. Whereas for Gemini, they're just trying to get you to lighten up because they do better with less emotion and more logic, because Geminis live in their head, Pisces live in their heart. So you guys are going to have to find somewhere between there to effectively communicate with each other. Now, it's inevitable that Gemini is going to hurt your feelings, Pisces, perhaps at the very time they are trying to cheer you up. And it's not that they're being insensitive to you. They're quite aware of the fact that you are having an issue and that you're upset. But as I said, the go-to for Gemini is typically humor, typically talking. So they are known to make light of or make a joke out of tense situations in order to lighten the load. So be aware of that. And if that has happened to you, I'm here to tell you, Pisces, in all likelihood, they weren't trying to hurt your feeling. It's just natural for a Gemini to tell a joke. Now, Gemini is very intellectual and analytical, whereas Pisces is more emotional and intuitive. Therefore, that communication between Pisces and Gemini won't be natural. And it's going to take work in order to develop. Can it happen? Yes, of course it can happen. But it's definitely something that you two are going to have to make adjustments for. Now, the chemistry between the two of you, Pisces, with Gemini, will be exciting and passionate initially. It'll be hot and heavy. Gemini will definitely enjoy the fantasy aspect that Pisces brings to the bedroom. And Gemini is definitely the partner for you, Pisces, to try all your wildest fantasies. As long as you include some talking in there, you two will be great. As Geminis are the orators of the sun sign astrological things. So they like talking. So if you talk them through it, Pisces, they're guaranteed to be right there with you, and they may surprise you a little bit because Geminis are also known to be quite freaky. However, with that being said, there are going to be some adjustments that will need to be made between the two of you in order to keep things hot and heavy consistently over a long period of time. So yes, it will be fun and adventurous, and it will be lighthearted and lots of laughs. But eventually, Pisces is going to need more from you, Gemini, emotionally. And Gemini, you're going to need to learn how to make the adjustments with the heaviness that you feel that Pisces is going to hit you with all of a sudden. Which, by the way, it isn't all of a sudden, Gemini. You just weren't paying attention. Okay, so I'll tell you how to overcome those little inconsistencies that the two of you will have in communicating with each other, and how to do it more effectively, how to hear each other when you're talking, and meet somewhere in the middle that you will both be happy, where Gemini won't feel strangled and Pisces won't feel abandoned by the ever-changing Gemini. Join me on part 2, where I will discuss those things and also give you some tips, Pisces, on how to keep your Gemini interested and keep them from the perpetual boredom that they are known to suffer from. And Pisces, I will also give you some cues on how to deal with the Gemini's humor aspect so that you won't want to strangle them when they tell a joke at the most inappropriate time. So join me on part 2 at www.sohnjee.com. We will talk about it, Pisces with Gemini. Also, if you would like some private consultations, you can contact me by email or on Instantgo at /Sohnjee, where we can talk about your situation personally. And if you have some things that you would like to share with the rest of us, feel free to leave it below in the comments section. I read all the comments. And for those that are warrant some attention, I definitely give you some feedback. But if you just like to share and give some pointers on how to deal with the Pisces-Gemini relationship matchup, by all means, share, share, share. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on part 2 at Sohnjee.com. Take care, Pisces with Gemini. Bye-bye.